We're just going to start recording and we'll get started. So remember yesterday we talked about how to do the arm and this, but sometimes your arm gets tired and you have to switch arms. So pick an arm, either your right arm or your left arm, and I want you to wake it up. Wake up your arm. It's early in the morning, we gotta wake up our arm. Okay, so here's our first activity. We're gonna do the sounds. You tell me the word. A, t. At. What's the word? Gnat. Good job. Excellent. Okay, let's do another word. Get that arm out or switch arms. You can switch arms. Okay, we're gonna do another one. What? I. Sh. What? I. Sh. What is it? Wish. Good job. You guys are doing awesome. Hey, Emily. I like your polka dot bow. All right. Let's do our next one. I'm going to use my other arm. N. E. T. N. Eat. Neat. Neat. All right. Like, my room is nice and neat. Here's another one. Use my other arm. Oh, here comes Russell. Let me let Russell in. Hold your arm out like this. You ready? E. T. Eat. What is it? Feet. Like your smelly, smelly feet. All right. Here's one. Hold your arm out. I. T. It. Sit. Sit. That's exactly right. Ooh, I like this one because it's got my favorite sound. The beginning sound is my favorite sound. So after we do this word, see if you can tell me what my favorite sound is. It's the first sound. Z. I. P. Z. I. P. Zip. What's my favorite sound? Z is my favorite sound. Here comes Ada. Okay, let's do this one. Keep my arm out. N. N. Sun. You're exactly right. Sun. Here comes Ria. Alrighty. Let's do the last one. This is our last one. So really wake up those arms. Get them going. Last one. E. T. Eat. Meat. Awesome. Okay, for my friends that just came in, we talked a little bit this morning about Dot Day. I see that some of us are wearing dots, which is fine. If you don't have dots, that's perfectly fine as well. And we can be creative with our dots. Dots don't have to just be a dot. Anything that's a round shape could be a dot. In our classroom page, by the whiteboard, there is the dot book that you can listen to that story. And I know Miss Hodnett, when you went to art yesterday, she told you guys a lot of stuff about art and art day, dot day. All right, let's move on to our next slide. Okay, what is this?
A shell.
It's a shell. You're exactly right. It's a shell. Let's tap out those sounds and see if we can do that together. Put your arm out. O. O. Shell. Awesome. Let's see if you can identify this one. What's that? Not a mouse, because there's more than one.
Hamsters.
No, it is a mouse, but more than one mouse is called, does anybody know what it's called when it's more than, it's not mouses, it's mice. Very good, mice. Mice, there's mice. Let's see if we can tap out mice. Mice. Awesome. All right, let's do our next one. What's that?
A fan.
Fan. Very good. Fan. Let's tap it out.
Fan.
Fan. Awesome job. Here comes Nolan. Let's let Nolan in. All right, let's go to the next one. What's that?
Ocean.
Yeah, it's the ocean, but this is the wave. Wave. So I'm going to put my arm out. Wave. Very good. Excellent. Wave is also a multiple meaning word. Wave can mean like this from the ocean, or it can also mean you wave to your friend. It can have more than one meaning. All right. Now we're going to take a look. Oh, wait. Before we do this, let me go back. Before we do this, I have a fun activity. So, I'm going to play a game with you, and it's called What Your Name Starts With. So, I'm going to say a sound, and if your name starts with that sound, I want you to hold up your hand, okay? Or give me a double thumbs up. All right, I'm going to say the sound. Good morning, Nolan. Happy to see you. All right. If your name starts with A, raise your hand. If your name starts with A, raise your hand. If your name starts with A, raise your hand, raise your hand. If your name starts with A, raise your hand. Ada, very good. Here is our A sound. Letter is A. Sound is A. All right, let's do the next one. If your name starts with E, raise your hand. If your name starts with E, raise your hand. If your name starts with E, raise your hand, raise your hand. If your name starts with E, raise your hand. E is this letter. So Estelle, your name, and Emily, your name. Very good. Letter is E. Sound is E. Awesome. Okay. If your name starts with R, raise your hand. If your name starts with R, raise your hand. If your name starts with R, raise your hand, raise your hand. If your name starts with R, raise your hands. Okay. So, Russell and Rhea, your name starts with R. Awesome. Letter is R. Sound is R. Very good. All right. If your name starts with S, raise your hand. If your name starts with S, raise your hand. If your name starts with S, raise your hand, raise your hand. If your name starts with S, raise your hand. Sophia, fantastic. Your name starts with S. Awesome. Letter is, oh, I've got it upside down. S. Sound is S. Awesome. All right. If your name starts with K, raise your hand. If your name starts with K, raise your hand. If your name starts with K, raise your hand, raise your hand. If your name starts with K, raise your hand. Kip. Awesome. Kip, you've got your hand raised. Your name starts with K. Letter is K. Sound is K. Awesome. If your name starts with J, raise your hand. If your name starts with J, raise your hand. If your name starts with J, raise your hand, raise your hand. If your name starts with J, raise your hand. J, awesome. J starts with J. Here it is. Letter is J. Sound is J. J. Okay. If your name starts with, hold on, I gotta do this right. D, raise your hand. If your name starts with D, raise your hand. If your name starts with D, raise your hand, raise your hand. If your name starts with D, raise your hand. Daphne, your name starts with D. Letter is D. Sound is D. Okay. And last but not least, if your it's not last, I've got two more. If your name starts with L, raise your hand. If your name starts with L, raise your hand. If your name starts with L, raise your hand, raise your hand. If your name starts with L, raise your hand. Lily and Leslie, good job, girls. And our last one, if your name starts with N, raise your hand. If your name starts with N, raise your hand. If your name starts with N, raise your hand, raise your hand. If your name starts with N, raise your hand. Nolan, awesome. Good job. That was fun, huh? I like that game. All right, now we're going to take a look in our puppy dog book at this page. If you need to pin me to make me big, you can put your, you can touch the bottom where my name is and pin me to make me large. This is my favorite type of writing. This is writing the swirl, and it's my very, very favorite. Can someone raise their hand and tell me what animal this is on our page? Who can raise their hand and tell me? Ada, unmute your mic, sweetie, and raise your hand and tell me what animal this is.
It's a snail.
It's a snail, and he has a curly, swirly shell. So, I need another friend, wonderful job, Ada, to raise their hand and tell me where am I gonna start when I need to write my swirl? Where on the snail am I gonna start when I need to write my swirl? Lily, unmute your mic for me, sweet girl. Where am I gonna start?
Where you gonna start? At the top.
At the star. You're exactly right. We're gonna start at the star.
You raise your hand.
So I'm going to take my marker and I'm gonna point to, remember we go from left to right. We move from left to right. So I'm gonna start right here with this snail. And he's got a star in the middle of his shell. Before I start writing, I'm gonna make sure I've got my pencil grip. So I'm gonna hold my pencil. The part that I write with faces the ceiling, so I hold it like a rocket ship. I'm gonna get my pinchers. My pinchers are my pointer finger and my thumb on the hand that I write with. I'm gonna pinch it, flip it, and grip it with 3 fingers, our tripod grip. So we're gonna start at the star and I'm gonna work my way out. It's a curve and we're gonna go all the way out.
Stop. See it stop right there.
Yes.
I didn't actually find the nail.
You can't find it, sweetie. It's on page 23. That's a 2 and a 3. So open up your little workbook and you'll turn the pages and you'll see a 2 and a 3. I know your mommy's teaching class right now. So you just keep on turning your pages until you find a 2 and a 3. Now I'm gonna move to my next snail and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna start in the middle and I'm gonna take my time and I'm gonna slow and steady wins the race. I'm gonna follow that dotted line.
Now let's try this.
Uh-oh, look what I did.
Uh-oh, what'd she do?
I accidentally went out of the line. Oh, am I gonna cry and pitch a fit? No? What can I do? I went outside the line. I can just erase it, can't I? Oh, okay. I'll just erase it. Now it's all better and I can go back. Was that okay? Was that okay that I made that mistake? Yeah, that was okay. Now you draw your snail. And I'm gonna give you all a minute to finish up doing your snails. You're just doing the front page, not the back. When you're done, we can do an art gallery view. So I can see your beautiful work. Oh, wonderful. Oh, I thought somebody was holding up. Yeah, they are. Russell, great job. I love it, Russell. Fantastic. I really like how you were slow and steady and stayed in your lines. Oh, Ada, beautiful. Beautiful work. I love it. And if you want to go back and color the snails, you can after you've drawn them. But you can do that later. Remember to take a picture of it. Wonderful work, Emily. And submit it to me on your assignment once you're finished. I'll see some of you at 9 o'clock, Group B. And the rest of you, wonderful work, Daphne. I'll see you at 9:45 for math. So you can take a movement break and have a snack. I love it, Nolan. Wonderful job. Great job, Kip. I really like how you stayed in the lines. Perfect. Awesome job. Do you have a question, Amy Lee? Unmute your mic.
I'm not quite finished.
That's okay, sweetie. Take your time. A lot of friends aren't. Take your time. Great job, Jay. Fantastic. You did wonderful. Once you're finished, you can sign off if you want to. Jay, did you have a question? Unmute your mic, buddy, so I can hear you. I can't hear you, sweetie. Unmute your mic.
Those raisins over there, strawberry raisins.
Strawberry yogurt raisins? That sounds delicious. Is that going to be your snack? That sounds yummy. I'm excited for you to eat that. No, it's not your snack.
Don't put your foot on my slime.
Well, I'll see you guys back later. You all did a wonderful job. I'm proud of you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay.
I told her I had to hurry up and get back there. She goes, oh,
Oh, it's okay.
And then she got,
Understand.
you just got to give it up.
Yeah.
So then she wanted to tell me about her family. I thought, okay. I have to give myself up. And I do pretty good because my girlfriend, she says, she always watches me. She says, Donna, if somebody stops you, you hear them out. And I go, well, I was raised that way.
Yeah.
But I wanted
To be
get back.
respectful.
I told her right away, well, I got to get back to class. To Miss Kate's room because I wanted to see the
Yeah.
children. And she was like,